Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us this evening. It's been really great to hear the presentations. I'm Christine, and Steve and Ray are here. They'll join in a moment. So the In Pipeline, as our MC mentioned, was a poem that was written it's actually written by over 100 artists across the planet. And this is it right here. It started as a blog. It's a collaboration that was designed to go dream versus stream with Enbridge's proposed pipeline across the Rocky Mountains, our province, and into the water via some tankers that would go through some pretty treacherous waters. I became involved with the project as a result of an occupation of Enbridge's Northern Gateway Pipeline's offices shortly before the project was conceived, and just put some simple calls out through email, and really that's how it got going.
Unlike this very urban image, I was just 2 weeks ago in Fort McMurray, Alberta, participating in a collective walk with about 400 people around the 14-kilometer circumference of a now completely dry tailings pond.
This is a picture of me. I don't know about you, whether or not you like collaboration, but I'm ridiculously antisocial. So it's a bit weird for me to be talking about collaboration. But I'm going to try and do some of that today.
Okay, speaking of collaboration, on the In Pipeline, we often joke that we hand measured these poems using handmade rulers, and so we're pretty low tech in a lot of ways. But actually, digital communication technology was essential to the collaboration. We were hearing from people all over the world, as I mentioned, and so email, blogs, social media were a big part of how the project was accomplished. And speaking of social media, if you go to facebook.com/npipeline, so that's EN Pipeline right now, you'll find an invitation to a poll, and I will invite you to participate in that momentarily. First question in that poll is are you collaborative? Yes or no? So if you can visit that or comment on our Facebook page. Another question I would like to put to the group is, have you collaborated before? What kind of projects have you collaborated on? And third, I'm also curious, are you a collaborator? If you visit our page, you'll learn a little bit more about the project. There's some other things I was going to touch on, but I think that what I'll do is I'll actually pass it to Ray, and he'll share a little bit more about this.
So in terms of the length of this poetry, imagine a whole bunch of people getting together and writing 70,000 plus kilometers worth of poetry. That's basically what we have. We broke out our rulers and we measured it all until we made sure that that was what we had. So this is an image of a whole bunch of us. You'll notice that we're at a festival, a literary festival, and we've got a whole bunch of poetry draped around us. One of the things that we really appreciated about being able to be with an audience is that we also had the audience not just as an audience, but a whole bunch of people who were also participating and collaborating with us. This is an image of us sharing it all online, because a lot of us aren't even in the same location. We're writing in, we're finding each other on social media, and we're working together there. One of the things that's really great is that we also have our book launched. These are some photos from a New York City launch that was organized independently. I suppose just like PechaKucha is organized in different locations around the world, we decided to have, or not we, I guess if we think of we as people in different locations, yeah, we decided to have book launches everywhere. We also had it in Prince George. Here's the Vancouver launch, where we decided to launch it actually at the Enbridge office. So that's our cake right there. We also work together with local artist-run centers in order to be able to celebrate all these people coming together. And speaking of social media, here is the Northern Gateway Twitter account deciding to follow us online. So you know that you've perhaps done some good work when friends like the Northern Gateway are also following you.
The most immediate and devastating impacts of fossil fuel production are arguably at the point of extraction. This is north of Fort McMurray near the tar sands. But those are also communities, often indigenous communities, that are organizing very sustained resistance and a resistance based around healing those communities and healing the land. Of course, at the other end of the pipeline, we have an existing pipeline carrying diluted bitumen from the tar sands running through Burnaby and being loaded onto tankers in Vancouver's harbor. Recently, an artist in Vancouver organized a walk along the route of that pipeline through neighborhoods, past schools, a golf course, all these places where the pipeline currently runs underground. What was I going to say here? Now we see if I can figure that out. I'm going to go on to the next slide. Yes. Well, the pipelines go all over North America. So this is there are at least 4 or 5 major pipelines planned right now. Now, this beautiful image, in part chosen because it's so beautiful, represents, in one way of looking at it, is representing the displacement caused by the production of fossil fuels. Of course, I'm talking about climate change. Indigenous communities, as I mentioned before, displaced, but also the impacts of climate change hit equatorial regions, less developed regions hardest, of course. Now, this map, to end on a little bit of positivity, I suppose, maps women-led community organization, and it happens to overlap with areas of the most recent and occurring now and recent strife and conflict happening in the world. And so wherever there is that strife, at least there is resistance happening. Follow us on Facebook, and I'll end, if I have time, really quickly, just short words from the M Pipeline. Water is to land what the voice is to the body. Thank you very much.